Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyanamita Sukhi Hontu. I'm Aliana. Welcome to Sutta Discussion Day 92 by Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. This is the 11th class of Pattakamma Sutta with topic Third Worldly Deeds of Third Pattakamma. Pattakamma Sutta is the 7th sutta from the total of 10 sutta that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. In previous classes, Bhante has discussed about Manggala Sutta, Ratana Sutta, Metta Sutta, Sigalowada Sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, and Sabasava Sutta, which Bhante has elaborated those sutta in depth. For those who have missed our previous classes, please check on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana blank Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have uploaded the previous 91 classes there. We are always welcoming newcomers, therefore whoever that wish to join the class via Zoom where we can engage directly with Bhante can contact us on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Clan's Facebook Messenger or register through the QR code that have shared in our recent flyer regarding to the Sutta discussion class on our Facebook account, or even can contact the Vihara directly through WhatsApp. Our speaker, Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima, is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, or JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Mahachulalongkorn Raja Vidyalaya University in Thailand. He has previously been a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion and Societies, or CSRS, at University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also a Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada, from year 2012 till 2016. Bhante is currently the senior advisor to Patisota, a virtual Dharma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dharma talks, and a variety of other Dharma activities. His Dharma works can be accessed at www.patisota.blogspot.com, and we also can follow Bhante at Patisota Facebook account. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante, and thank you very much for the wonderful guidance and teaching.
Thank you, Aliana. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back to the 92nd Sutta discussion of Ti-Ratana Vihara Clan. Today we are going to discuss about the third Pattakamma, Pattakamma number 3. So before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. So we have today Liara, Margaret, Nine Cheng, Tisselim, you only, Kelvin, Aaron. Is Aaron going to be the one who is doing our technical side today?
Yes, Bhante.
Should be. Okay, great.
Brother Lim is not available.
Okay. Corina, Jacqueline, Mia, Emma, and Shui. Maybe some others might be joining as we proceed. So, Pattakamma number 3, that means what could be the third worthy level of your expenses, I would say, expenditure, is what we're going to learn today. Once again, Patta means worthy, Kamma means action, so worthy action in terms of your spending. Spend it towards worthy causes. Okay, let's take a look at the text. Probably maybe I could ask you what were the first two Pattakammas? What was the first one? What should be the first worthy Kamma in terms of your expenses? Who is the first group that you should think about? when you are spending wealth?
Yourself.
Own self.
Yourself, and then
Parents.
parents,
Wife and
family
Children.
members,
Spouse and children.
Elderly people.
parents.
Elderly people.
Yeah.
Then
So
afterwards.
yeah, and then second Pattakamma, the second group.
Parents.
Yeah, second Pattakamma.
Okay.
Parents, family
Protection from
members, friends. They
losses.
all. Then the second one is about some wise plans for the future.
Securing
any-
wealth.
Yeah. So some creating some security for your wealth. We were talking about some damages that could happen from water, maybe
Fire.
from fire.
From the government.
Yeah,
Thieves.
and then thieves. Yes.
And displeased guests.
Yes, and also inheritance. If the wealth is going to the displeasing heirs, that means which the people who you don't like, probably. Actually, it happens. We never know who will be the one, who will be the ones who might be using. But if it happens at the time that you notice all that, that might be a little bit frustrating experience. Frustrations are part of our life, but he said that you can manage your wealth. Okay, so the third Pattakamma is about Bali. The Pali word is Bali, B-A-L-I. Okay, so we'll read the third Pattakamma's section here. Is anyone willing to read this part? Probably, yeah, it's not a very long section. From
I'll try,
here.
Bhante.
Okay, good.
Puna Chaparang Gahapati Arya Sawako Utana Viriya Gatehi Bogehi Baha Bala Parichitehi Seda Wakitehi Damikehi Damaladehi Ye Te Samana Brahmana Madap Pamada Pati Virata Kanti Sorache
Is
Vivita.
this the one that we are reading? I think that is a section probably.
Different.
Yeah. This is the
Oh.
third one actually. Could you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the one that is not.
Okay. Seda Wakitehi
Mhm.
Damikehi Damaladehi Pancha Baling Kata Hoti Yati Baling
Nyati Baling.
Nyati Baling
Mhm.
Atiti Baling Pupa Peta Baling Raja Baling Dewata Baling Ida Masa Tatiyang Tanah Gatang Hoti Pata Katang Aya Tanaso Paributang.
Okay, great. Okay, as you can see, Tatiyang means this is the third Pattakamma. Okay. Puna Chaparang Gahapati Arya Savaku Uttana Viryadhi Gatehi Bhogehi Baha Bala Parichitehi Seda Vakitehi Dhammikehi Dhammaladdehi Pancha Baling Katta Hoti Nyati Baling Atiti Baling Atiti as an S will TH Atiti Baling Puppa Peta Balin, Raja Balin, Devata Balin, Idamassa Tatiyang Dhanagatam Hoti. Pattagatam Ayatanaso Paribhuttam. Now, having done worthy deeds with your money towards very close ones in your life, at the same time to having done the security for the expenses, now you are going to think about, you are going to focus your wealth on certain important aspects of your wealth. This could be considered as a place where you think about your, I would say, probably your people, maybe the kind of people that you think that your money, your wealth deserves to be given. Now, at the beginning, it's mostly about your close loved ones. I mean, people who are near to you, and then you are making the safety, and now you have come to a place where you are going to distribute maybe spend your wealth money on the probably socially worthy one in terms of your wealth. At the same time, this could be a place where you are going to keep your spirituality, where you're going to keep your responsibility at a bit higher level. Let's see. Puna means again. Puna means again. Puna cha parang. Actually, aparang, that is another again, aparang. Gahapati, householder. Arya Savaku. Arya Savaku means a noble disciple. Now, this means Arya Savaku does not necessarily mean a Sotapanna person. Arya Savaka at the very least means someone who is on the path. That means you all are counted. This Arya Savaku, noble disciple, layperson definitely. Utthana Viryadi Gati. Utthana means
Effort. I know.
energetic.
Energy.
Viryadi Gati, striving. Now, Adhigati means, now this noble disciple, the layperson, has acquired wealth by this energetic striving. That means he or she has lots of energetic striving, lots of energy for a particular purpose, especially for amassing, acquiring wealth, earning wealth. Bahabala Parijitehi. Bahabala means used by the, you can see again over here, Bahabala. What does Bahabala means? Hands. Bahabala Parijitehi. That's why we have to understand this from a perspective of modern ways. Sometimes you might not use hands all the time to make money, make wealth, but acquire by making use of your hands at the same time. Seda Vakitehi, earn by sweating. We also discuss about this sweating part. When people earn wealth, they are not always making sweat at the moment in this time of the world, but at that time it was considered that sweating can be a sign of a hardworking person. And Dhamma laddehi dhammikehi, righteously gain. So whatever the things that you must have gained through righteous means. Pancha balin katta. So at this point, you are supposed to make 5 offerings. Now it was taken as oblation. Now this Pali word called Bali come from Sanskrit word also Bali. Bali. What does Bali mean actually? Bali. Now, if you go to a country like Sri Lanka or some other countries, if you mention what is a Bali, Bali could be something that at this time of their cultures, they are sort of sacrificing certain things to certain devas, maybe certain demons, certain non-humans. But the Buddha takes it in a different way. The Buddha takes it in a different perspective. Can you think about this Pali word Bali in another sutta? Have you ever come across this Pali word Bali in your readings? Not yet, or maybe you may have come across, but you cannot remember. Pali word Bali. If I now mention, you might think, oh, that is in the back of my head. I forget about it.
Ratana Sutta? No.
Is it
Ratana
in Ratana
Sutta.
Sutta, Bhante?
Yes, Ratana Sutta. Tivacha rattocha harantiye bali. Right? So, tasmahi bhuta nisameta sappe mettan karota manusiya pajaya. Divacha rattocha harantiye bali tasmahine rakkatapamat. Now, what does the Buddha initially ask Bhante Ananda to say? Bhante Ananda says this way, Deva, you have not taken care of these people in the Vajji state, right? You can't do so because they have been offering balis to you. Divacha rattocha. Diva means daytime. Rattocha means at night. That means a bali was a certain offering to the devas initially. Right? But the Buddha's way of taking bali is very expansive. I mean, he takes bali not only a certain offering, certain puja to a non-human being. He takes it in a very what do you call expanded context, right? Bali. You can also think about the Hindu balis, Hindu yagas. Another word that people know in Hinduism is that a yag. Okay, yag. This Pali word is similar to Bali, but in Sanskrit. Okay, this is in Sanskrit. Now, when you talk about yagas, yaga is an activity where Hindu people at that time mostly they used to do certain yagas to certain devas, especially the deva called Agni. Agni is a very famous deva actually. Pali Sanskrit word is Agni. Agni means fire actually in Sanskrit. So they believe that they cannot approach other devas like Varuna, Pajapati, Ishvara, Vishnu, those very high-ranking devas. So they can only approach Deva Agni, and when they offer things to him by offering, by giving an oblation to the Agni, Agni will pass the message to the Deva Ishvara, Brahma, Deva Pajapati, and all those kinds of devas. But mostly these oblations did not happen, with a certain non-killing perspective. There were certain oblations, yagas, we call sacrifices, which happen by killing a lot of animals. All right. So there are Sanskrit words for them actually. What do you call? There were certain sacrifices where many goats were killed, and many other animals were killed. So they were given certain names for those sacrifices. So by the time Buddha was talking these balis, the people were used to understand Bali as an offering to devas by killing a lot of animals. So he changed that. He changes to a very harmful perspective. So that's why he used the word Bali, going beyond that kind of a killing perspective to devas, and then but by promoting an idea that every human being has to think about their responsibilities towards worthy people in his or her life. So the Pali word Bali. Okay. Pancha Bali. Pancha means, what's the Pali word Pancha meant to be? Pancha.
5.
Pancha 5. And you know that there's a number of questions that we know in Pali. What are they? Eka Nama King. What is number 1? This is a upasampada, high ordination, that the Buddha asked from certain people to high ordain. Eka Nama King. What is number 1? Sabbe satta aharatika. All living beings subsist on food. Interesting, right? So in Buddhism, the Buddha's idea about categorizing life is about food. We have to consider about the food. Remember, one day there was a man came to listen to a Dhamma talk. He was very much starving. He had not taken food. Maybe he had no food for lunch, and the Buddha saw him. So he knew that he cannot sit down and listen to the Dhamma talk. Then he asked monks to bring him to the kitchen and give him food. Right? Interesting. Right? So Ekanamakim means what is number 1? Yeah. Number 1 is, the priority is to understand that every living being depends on food. Dvenamakim. What is number 2? Interesting, huh? These numbers. We'll do a couple of numbers. Namancha Rupancha, mind and matter. Right? That is number 2. Tininamakam. What is number 3? Tisso Vedana. There are 3 types of feelings. Sukha, dukkha, adukkama sukha. Happy feeling, unhappy feeling, or pleasant, unpleasant feelings. Adukkama sukha. What you call mixed feeling. Neither pleasant nor unpleasant feeling. Chattari Namaking. What is number 4? Chattari Arya Satchan. There are 4 noble truths. Panchanamaking. What is number 5? Panchupadana Kanda. 5 khandas. Especially 5 khandas with Upadana side. Chanamaking. What is number 6? Cha Ajjatika Ayatana. There are 6 internal sense bases. Chakku, that means eyes, represent a base. You know, when you think about bases, you think about an army base, soldiers' bases, huh? Isn't it? BAC means maybe there are soldiers. There's an army camp or army base somewhere. So the Buddha says Chakku is a base. A lot of soldiers are living there. Then Sota is a base. Our 2 ears it's a base. A lot of things happen. Right? Finally, our soldiers are going to become victims of the incoming enemies. Right? Incoming enemies are going to take our own soldiers. And then Dhana, a nose is an internal base. So there are other bases too. That means tongue, body, and mind. Tini. Then, Ajatikas, number 6. Then 7. Sattanamaking. What is number 7? Satta Bojjhanga. 7 Bojjhanga. Sati, Dhamma Vichaya, Virya, Piti, Passaddhi, Samadhi, Pinka. Attanamaking. What is number 8? Ariyo Attangiko Mak, the Noble Eightfold Path. So in this way, there are numbers, you know. The idea here is that Pancha means number 5. Eka, Dutiya, Tatiya, Chatutta, Panchama, Chatta, Satta, Attaka, Nava. So the list keeps going. Now, it's good to know some numbers because if you read Anguttara Nikaya, the Anguttara Nikaya, the suttas in Anguttara Nikaya goes by numbers. All right, that's for additional information. Now, let's talk about Panchabali. What are these 5 offerings? Bali means offerings, not an oblation. Actually, the translation here goes by oblation. I would say it's an offering, in the larger, broader sense. The first offering that you have to think about is Nyati Bali. Nyati. Who are the Nyatis?
Relatives.
Relatives. Do relatives make up a very big something in our life? Are they? If you can remember a Pali stanza, which is a very famous Pali stanza in Dhammapada, it says, Arogya Parama Labha. Right? Remember? Santuti Paramang Dhanang. Vissasa Parama Nyati. Nibbanang Paramang Sukha. Arogya Parama Labha. Out of all the gains in our life, we have lots of gains time to time. Sometimes we have gains, sometimes we have losses. But out of all the gains in our life, maybe education, money, people, a good reputation, whatever, all that. Out of all these things, gains, health is the most important gain. Health. Not even the physical health, mental health. Nowadays, a lot of people get sick because of the stress, because of the depression. A lot of people get diabetes, other health problems because of stress. Not about the food. They are okay. They are very health conscious, but stress. That means we have to keep our mindsets, keep our, mental health at a very interesting place, at a very balanced state. So the Buddha says, Arogya Paramalabha. If you go to Sri Lanka, you will see in each hospital, any hospital will display this as Arogya Paramalabha. Health is the best gain. They promote that. Right? Others are gains too, but they are not the highest gain according to Buddhism. Second is Santuti Paramandana. The greatest, the highest wealth in our life is joy, created by wholesome aspects. Joy. I think we do everything to be happy, right? From the time that you wake up in the morning up until you go to sleep, everything that you are involved leads up to happiness, joy. Even your Dhamma practice. Why are you practicing Dhamma? Because Nibbana is the highest happiness. That means it has the joy. Right? If you look at it, you will see that is also coming from a certain perspective of joy. But there are people who are investing a lot of things to gain only the material, secular joy. But here, the joy and ethical joy. That means the highest wealth in our life is the joy that is coming from wholesome kind of joy. Third one is Vissasa Paramanyati. Nyati now comes in. Nyati. Vissasa Paramanyati. Now, normally the translations go in a very different way here. It says that some translators translate this to be Nyatis. Relatives are the ones who we can trust in. Okay? That is how many translators translate this. But I translate this to be the people whom we can trust in are the relatives. Don't misunderstand. I mean, yes, we have very nice relatives from every perspective, but sometimes it might not work in some people's lives. They don't talk about it, but they know what is going on. So, a good way to look at it is that the people who we can trust in, whom we can trust in, are the relatives. Sometimes they may be your friends. You may be knowing somebody for some time. But anyways, Vissasa Paramanyati, that means the greatest relative is someone whom you can trust in. Nyati, right? Now, how are you going to choose your relatives here? Are they the blood related relatives, or are they the ones whom you can trust in? Tell me. That's a good point, huh? Now, initially we understand relatives are the ones who have a blood relation. But it's a very little different English word, consanguineous. Consanguineous relatives, the blood relation actually. So normally relatives are blood relatives, right? So how do we understand this Nyati Bali? So are we only taking relatives with blood relations, or are we taking it by the way whom we can trust in? Or the both? Maybe the both, because otherwise our relatives who might be watching this will not be happy. What are they going to do here? And they are not even accepting us the way who we are. We've been helping them a lot, but they are not even thinking about us. They are publicly declaring we are not relatives anymore. Right? Anyways, so just to think about, just to think differently about relatives, because sometimes you may have some friends whom you can trust in. They could be your everything. You're going to talk to them, you share your life, and you know that they protect your privacy, and they can give you very good advice. They can give you wisdom. Sometimes among relatives, there are a lot of politics going on. They may be sided, they may take sides, you may not be happy about it. They may quarrel about money, they may quarrel about their shares, their duties, right? So, this can go a little differently. Anyways, Nyati Bali. The Buddha says we all have to, whatever the definition that comes in, you need to, I would say, pay attention to the well-being of your relatives. But how can you do it? Are you supposed to give money? I don't think you will have lots of money to distribute among your relatives, right? Maybe you are going to help them out whenever you can, right? Let's say your family has 7, 8 siblings. So how are you going to help them out, right? Maybe a couple of them have messed up already, financially or in whatever the ways. How are you going to help them out? This might be a little difficult for you, but you are going to think about the best way to help them out without putting you at a risk, right? So, Nyati Bali. What are the other ways to take care of your relatives? Probably helping them out, probably concern about their well-being in different ways. You can think about different ways, right? Nyati Bali. Any thoughts? You must be experiencing a lot in your family circles, huh? How would you think to help out your relatives? How have you been doing this actually previously? All right, maybe save your questions. Second is going to be Atithi Bali. We're going to separate this up. Atithi. Atithi. What does Atithi mean? Atithi? Atithi?
Yes, Bhante.
Guest.
Oh, guess.
Guest.
Yeah.
Guest. Guest.
Yes.
Are you getting a lot of guests over to your house? Depend. Oh, Calvin says no. All right. How about others? You might be getting guests time to time, huh? Maybe for occasions, right? The Buddha says, not the Buddha actually, some Sanskrit verses say Even the enemy comes over to your house, give some food, give some beverages, make him more happy, whatever the problems you may be having, and then just say hi and bye, and then he will or she will leave the house. Even the enemy comes over to your house, welcome. That is a Sanskrit way of understand. In that particular stanza, it says, be the full moon. Be the full moon. When you become the full moon, you are giving the light to everywhere in the whole universe in the same way. The verse says, the full moon's light goes to the house of a lower caste person, also goes to the roof and the house, the palace of a king. The full moon equally shares its light. In the same way, if we are very high-minded people, we should be able to become the light to everybody. It might be hard, it might be difficult, right? To be nice to everybody, to be good to everyone in the best possible way. Some people are difficult people, but just because they are difficult people, we should not become mean. We have to understand what could be a best way to be nice to this person. Maybe not the usual way. Right? Okay, so Atiti. Atiti means a guest. Now,
What about strangers, Bhante?
strangers.
Strangers.
Are strangers guest?
Strangers come to your house.
Strangers come to your house. What kind of strangers come to your house? Do they knock your door and come? Or are they coming to your house?
You do not know them.
I think they are not guests.
So
We
they're
normally
what?
say invited guest.
Oh, invited guests. Okay.
Invited guests,
Okay.
right?
So if not invited, it's not considered guest, right?
I remember there was a temple in Canada. They have put up a notice. Please close the door. Rats are coming. Uninvited guests are not welcome in the temple because of the rats.
Oh,
Rats don't know about this notice, right? But telling the people, when you come to the temple, please close the door and go. Keep it closed. Uninvited guests. I think it's mostly about when you understand a guest, an invited guest. Because normally, maybe, okay, if you invite somebody over to your house, I think it's a guest. I don't think others who are on the road, they are not guests, unless otherwise you have a certain encounter with them. They could be strangers. It depends. It depends how you're going to make it happen. Maybe a stranger can become your guest in the next moment. It
yeah,
may be.
like sometimes on festival, with New Year or whatever New Year or Christmas Day, then strangers sometimes it does happen. They
Yeah.
come to your house, yeah.
Yeah. Then they will become your guest.
But then they may come to rob you.
Yeah.
You may get robbed, but they
Yeah. So you use your wisdom in dealing with them, and then if it is an occasion to offer them a tea, maybe have a chat. If it is permissible, then you will do so. Otherwise, you might have a short chat and then they will go.
yeah, no,
Right.
because nowadays we don't welcome people into the house if we don't know them. It's not safe, Bhante. Even the government officials or police, it can be fake police, Bhante. You invite them in, you can get robbed.
Yes.
Yes.
I think for the safety purpose, it is good not to bring them onto
Yeah.
the house. Actually, this is mostly about anybody. You have to define the definition of the guest here, actually.
Yeah.
Mostly they are
Invited lah,
relatives.
Bhante. Unless
Huh?
if what you say invited lah.
Yeah, invitation, I would say. Invitation. By
You
invitation.
know
Most,
them, unless you know
yes.
them. Yeah.
Yes. I think mostly by invitation. So then you can prepare well, man. So
Yeah.
when that kind of a guest is coming, then you are preparing food. Maybe they might stay over in your house one night or something.
Because
Something like
problem in Malaysia, they have this concept of open house, Bhante. So when open house, anybody can come. Yes, open house concept. During festival, then anybody can come. That's the problem lah. But
Yeah, but
normally these open houses are arranged by the politicians lah. That is okay. But not individual house, open house, quite dangerous.
yeah, I think you have to take precaution about this, everybody of you, because nobody should embrace any danger,
Yeah,
this time. Yeah. Let's consider this to be an invited guest.
yes.
So when an invited guest is coming to your place, you are going to take care of the invited guest appropriately, right? Appropriately. So it is going to be a bali, an offering, right? Okay, the flip side of this is the people who are not taking care of the guests who are coming out of their houses. Have you seen such people? Or have you had any bad experience when you go over to somebody's house and you don't feel that they are really caring you? Have you ever felt like that? Maybe you are very lucky enough or blessed enough, like a Sangha member, really take care wherever they go. I think some people, they feel that they are not really taken care by the people over there, although they invited them. Maybe food, maybe accommodation, comfort, right? That's why it is said that this is a thing that every layperson has to think about. They have to really take care of the guest in the proper way. Yeah, you have to make sure that it's the proper way. Atiti Bali. Then Pubba Peta Bali. We will go back to certain important aspects again, but now just to brief, maybe understand. Pubba Peta Bali. Pubba means Pubba Peta Bali.
Pass.
Ancestors. Now you are coming up with a date, April 4th, isn't it? What is that day
April
called?
4th, yeah.
What is that day called?
Chiming.
Oh, Chimminki days. That means people go to the cemetery in your culture, right? They're going to clean the tombstone area, graveyard, right? And
Yes.
then what other things are you doing on that day? Are you practicing that event, or are you just being a silent observer of other people?
Offerings, prayers.
Offering prayers. I mean, I think what we have to consider most about this event is not the individual certain things people do, the gratitude that someone thinks about their ancestors, my mother, my father. I mean, a new day to think about their contributions to us, right? So, Pubapeta Bali means offerings to ancestors. Now, the problem is, how did people get used to do things to their ancestors at that time? They thought the person who passed away is still in the cemetery, graveyard, right? That is one kind of belief. Now, in certain other religions, you understand there is a concept called resurrection. What is it? Resurrection. How do we understand resurrection? That means there's somebody who passes away, and then in a couple of days, this particular person is going to wake up. Oh, wake up from the same body. Resurrection. I think this is the month. This is the month. If you see that, is what a coincidence, huh? Chinese culture, they have it in April, and then this happens in March. There's a coincidence, the time duration. So passing away and then resurrection. So they believe that you can't cremate. If you cremate, that person cannot come back. Anyways, at that time, even people believed that offerings to the departed one means you bring lot of food and everything, and then putting on the tombstone or graveyard, and then praying and come back. How do you do that actually on April 4th? What is your way? How do you celebrate that Ancestors' Day in your culture?
more
Are you bringing
sustained, Bhante.
food? Huh?
Yeah, bringing food,
Yes,
bringing,
yes.
yes,
Bringing food.
almost the
Maybe the
same.
food that person like eating, right? Maybe, yes. So these are cultural events. But the Buddha's way is that yes, I mean he did not. I would say criticize people who have been doing offerings to the dead person, but he said a better way is to you become a good person and then think about your good karmas after you became a good person and give that good karma to that person. So that is the purification to purification. Now there may be a person who is not purified, who is still doing the bad things, and on that particular day bringing bunch of food onto the graveyard and then thinking all this is going to the ancestor. But the Buddha says if you really want to give something to your ancestor, maybe the one who passed away, you must become a better person first. Now, this is what happens in the dana also, right? When you want to offer Sangika dana, what is happening? How can you give good karmas to your departed ones with that Sangika dana? Sangha members always advise you, you have to take precepts, you have to clean your thoughts, thereby you are creating good karmas, and those good karmas can be passed on to the departed one. That means purification on your side is the key thing. Not that you spend a lot of money only and then you buy a lot of things and then you probably complete certain things in the temple and you come back. I did a big dana. Right? So purification is a must. So anyways, there's no problem in bringing food. It's a cultural thing. But a better way is that while you are doing so, think about becoming a pure person in terms of your thoughts. So Bhupapeta Bali means offerings to the departed ones. So the Buddha says the way how Buddhists can offer, give good karmas to the departed ones, I would say give things to the departed ones should come from good karmas, not from the material things themselves, right? But in different cultures, they practice differently. Even in Sri Lankan culture, there's sometimes weird, some people who are actually doing certain demonic things. They say, uh, probably there are some ghosts with regard to your dead person. So you put some put some food, place some foods in a certain place, and you will see and go back to that same place in a couple of hours. You see the food is not anymore there. The person came out and then ate all that food, and then they are making people scared. There is that person in this household, so we had to do something. We had to chase him out. We had to send him out of your house. So you had to give some money. You had to spend some money on that. It has been becoming a business at that point, right? At the same time, the people in the household becoming very scared of these non-humans at that point. So anyways, the Buddha's idea in terms of Pubapita Bali means good karmas. Good karmas are the best things to give to the departed one, not just the food. So in order for you to give good karmas, you must become a good person. If you don't become a good person, how are you going to offer how are you going to offer things to the person, right? Have you seen that there are people who have been doing a lot of good things? I mean, visibly, they have been doing a lot of danas, but still they are experiencing a lot of issues in their household. Why is it? They've been giving dana every month as much as possible, but they're still feeling something wrong with their ancestors. Why is it? The good karmas that they are giving either happening not in the proper way, or they are not properly transferred to the departed ones. So that means this is very important to understand in terms of giving good karmas. Giving good karmas should happen in the proper way. It's a proper way to give good karmas. Pubapeta Bali means, Peta means departed ones. Pubapeta means departed ones, I would say ancestors. Okay. Right. And then we come down to Raja Bali. Raja Bali means tax, paying taxes, and not evading taxes. So paying tax was recommended by the Buddha because we should not live without spending money as necessitated by the governments. But the thing is, in today's world, governments might do that in different ways. You may probably be frustrated. You may probably worry about it. But paying tax is a Buddhist thing. Huh? It's a Buddhist thing. I mean, not many religious people talk about it. They say, tax, don't respect these people. But paying tax is a Buddhist thing, I would say. As a Buddhist, you must pay tax appropriately. There are issues. I mean, sometimes people might misuse the tax system in the country, right? They might use it to money laundering, right? Because in some countries they promote giving money to charity. I think I already shared with you, giving money to certain charities, so you get a rebate, actually 1/4 rebate of your donation, because they help, governments help charities, because some charities are trying to survive. They don't get enough money to survive, so they cannot make money within their viharas, within their institutions properly. They don't get enough people, they don't get enough support. So governments in some countries, they support in different ways. I remember this happens in a country where they don't have money to run the temple. So in that country, government is helping by asking them to go to a casino and serve the people as the membership. That means this organization, Anibihara, surviving organizations are not the very established ones. They are giving a chance. You go to a casino that we are saying, and then serve the people in the bar. Means you're gonna serve. So, and then what happens? By serving so, the government is helping you to get a lump sum, a lot of money, so that you can pay the down payment of the institution. So there are many temples who could survive that way. They could make that money, and after that they are able to pay the mortgage every month, right? So the governments are helping different ways. Then people got a problem. This money came from bad ways because we serve the people who came to casino, right? Not the ethical money. They were questioning, right? But the problem is that their intentions were different, because otherwise they could not have survived at that point, that kind of large money. Anyways, paying tax is a Buddhist thing, so Raja Bali. Finally, Devata Bali. Devata Bali. Devata means Devata, Devas. That means offerings to the Devas is a thing that the Buddha asks us to do. But some people misunderstand it. Some people think, why are we respecting Devas? Buddha is the highest. But Devas are the people who are taking care of the universe in their best interest. So remember, the head god, the head Deva called Sakka, once worshipping while he was riding the vehicle. His driver was named as Matali. His name was Matali. Then the Matali asked Sakka, dear Lord, who are you respecting, worshipping? You are the head Deva. We all are respecting you. Then he said, Ye Gahatta Silavata. So and so forth. He said, if there is any layperson who is virtuous and taking care of his or her family, spouse, with his or her children, I respect, I worship them. That means the head code, what they call Sakka, respecting lay people who are really taking care of their families well. Now the governments are asking this to do. Right? Now in Japan, I hear from some people, if you have 3 children, your whole education will, their whole education fee will be covered by the government. Okay? You get 3 children. So they are encouraging their future generation. They don't have people to pay tax. They can't take care of their elderly generation in the, I think, 10, 20 years. Because elderly generation is becoming more and more in many countries. So now the idea here is that if there is a layperson, ye gahatta silavata dhammena darang posenti te namassai mate. Matali, I worship lay people who are families. And who is taking care of one's spouse with his or her children with virtuous, sila, I respect them. Now you are every day respecting devas, morning to evening, but devas are worshipping you. On the other hand, never heard that, huh? This is given in the Sakka Sangyutta Nikaya. Very interesting. Probably we can check the Pali Gatha, the proper Gatha, and we'll see it's the proper way. Ye Gahatta. See the idea. Okay, I think I will send you probably later the stanza. Yeah, I will send you later. Let's see. Okay, so the idea is that it's not the idea. It is said in the Samyutta Nikaya, in other suttas, that Sakka was worshipping on many directions, and Matali, his driver, was surprised. Dear Lord, we all respect you. Who are you respecting? He said, I am respecting definitely in this perspective, the married people, right? Otherwise, how come they have families? He's saying that I am worshipping those families who are taking care of their family household in the virtuous, righteous ways. I'm respecting them. Right? Interesting. So Devata Bali. Now you are supposed to offer things to Deva. At the same time, understand that Devas also, now if the Sakka is respecting such lay people, then what about other normal Devas?
Bhante,
But anyway,
the Upusata days, the King Saka come down and check who observed the 8 precepts. Sorry.
yeah, there are things like that, but I'm saying something from Samyutta Nikaya, from a sutta actually, so you can see that, check that. Anyways, Devata Bali. Let me ask you, how do you respect your devas? I think in your culture you have different devas, right? Isn't it? You have many devas. Now, how do we understand these deva worlds? Who are the devas here actually? There are 6 heavens initially, and then there are Brahma worlds. Actually, we call Brahma also as devas, Brahma Deva. If you look at Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Mahasamya Sutta, you see Brahmas are also taken as devas, but not devas initially, but in the larger, broader definition of deva, Brahmas also included. So when you think about devas, who can become a deva in that particular definition? How do we know that someone can become a deva?
5 precepts.
Yeah, initially you all are supposed to take care of your 5 precepts, but the Buddha has clearly mentioned a shortcut to become a deva. What is it? This is given in the Dhammapada, Kodavagga. Satchang bani na kujjaya tajja pasmin piyachito ete hiti hitanihi gacche deva santa. Satchang bani, speak the truth, is the first thing that we all are supposed to do. It means no musawada. Right? Then, na kujjaya, not become angry. Now, we all can become angry depending on our practice, right? Who can become more angry? Are they people who are really practicing Dhamma, or are they really faking the practice of the Dhamma? Or are they the people who never do any practice of the Dhamma? Who can become very angry? How do you know that? How do you know what could be the proof that someone is not becoming angry that much? Anger is a normal emotion, but who can become so angry without a certain management of that anger? Those ones who have not trained their thoughts. Training thoughts is not a complementary thing in a Buddhist practice. Some people think that when they go to a certain program, activity, when they read some Dhamma things, they are automatically equipped with anger management. Is it? It is not. It is by training our thoughts, we will respond properly. Right? I think I already shared with you a real story about somebody who was teaching anger management in Dhamma school long time ago. He was a professor in a local college. Every day when he goes to the class, he started teaching about anger management every day. So the children were not happy about it. Every day, okay, he's coming to teach us anger management. Now for the 7th day, 8th day, 9th day, right? So they were kind of smiling a little bit, and he was not happy. So he became angry. How come you smiling about me? And then he was very mad after that. So he actually said a lot of bad words to them, and then he left the class. And when the students were inquired, students started saying, yes, we accept that laughing was not a good thing. We accept. But he can't be angry, right? Because he has been teaching anger management for 8, 9, 10 days. I think all is a theoretical Dhamma knowledge. It's not any practice. No practice at all. Right? I think this is a big problem in our today's Dhamma cultures. That means we always talk about anger and all that, but in our real life, are we really witnessing those people who are talking this? Maybe are we really seeing that those who are learning, who are trying to stay with the practice, becoming better people in terms of anger management? So devas like those people who are becoming, at the very least, less angry. At the very least, understand their anger. But what is happening to most of us when we become angry? Do we understand that we are angry? Or we are just getting trapped with the anger? We don't know what we are doing. I think we don't know what we are doing. If we understand we are angry, then we know how to respond properly at that point. We take a quiet time. And then we change the way we look at it. Right? The problem is not becoming angry. Anger is a normal emotion. Once people become angry, they don't know whether they have anger or not. Right? So devas like those of them who have no anger, at the very least, understanding their anger level. And the third thing is dajja spasmin piyachito. That means give what you can. That means generosity. So these three things take you to the deva world. That's what it said. But here, devata bali means every time you do a good karma, at the end of the good karma, you deserve, and then your money deserves to be given to devas. How are you going to give your wealth to the devas? That means you can. Are you going to offer things to them? Probably in different cultures. But most importantly, give good karmas to them. Okay? If you go to India, you will see how many people are giving lots of things to Deva, right? A lot of things. But the Buddhist way is that perhaps you may give according to your cultures, but the most important giving to the Devas is your good karmas. Why are we giving good karmas to the departed ones? Why are we giving good karmas to the Devas at the end? It's a very good question. Now, for departed ones, we know it's that we are going to be grateful to them. At the same time, Bhumapeta Bali includes that it is necessary for us to give. What about the Devata Bali? Why are we giving good karma to Deva? Do Devas need good karmas? Not at the moment.
Yes.
Not at the moment, right? They are very happy people at the moment. Because in one of the suttas called Vachagota Sutta, Buddha says, if your relative became a Deva, your good karmas don't go to that Deva at this point. Because Deva has a lot of accounts. But we are giving good karmas to their sansaric life. Because we know they are also part of anicca. At the same time, sharing and transferring good karmas at the end of a Dhamma event, any event, is very mandatory. Why is it? If we don't do that, then we are becoming very selfish with the good karma, what we've been doing. That is a very interesting purpose. So at the end of the good karma, you think that may all these good karmas be shared and transferred. So you are not keeping them as mine that much. So Devata Bali, you could do by offering things to Deva in the best possible way. At the same time, most importantly, you are giving good karma to them.
Akasakta Chapumata.
Yeah, Tavata Chammihi. They were stanzas made by senior monks at the time. But anyways, they clearly says that giving good karma to them is important because we are not becoming selfish with our good karmas. Now, why did Bhante Ananda, with the advice of the Buddha, tell Devas in the Vajji state, why are you not taking care of these people? They have been giving you Bali daytime and nighttime. That means Devas did not really pay attention to them, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
If the people used to give Bali, Devata Bali to the Devas, why didn't they come and help them out? Isn't it? Why didn't they come and help them out? That means just because you pray or ask Devas to do, Devas won't come. Isn't it? Yes, you might keep asking. May my prayers be answered by Devas, my morning Deva, afternoon Deva, evening Deva, but they might not come. That's why Bhante Ananda says, along with the Buddha's advice, why are you not taking care of them? They've been doing their responsibilities towards you. That means Devas have to be felt with what you are doing. They have to be felt. Like metta, right? Like metta. You might be practicing metta, but the people around you might not feel your metta. So they are still doing bad things to you. I will give you a very nice example, small example. In your life, have you ever witnessed that you are really taking care of people in your best possible way, but they are never grateful to you, but they don't feel it in their way? Have you witnessed that? When you have a conversation, you might say that, see how much I've been doing for you, but you never say any single good word for me. Why is it? Because you haven't done the way that they feel about it. Probably. You might say they are very ungrateful. That means we have to make other people feel the way how we are doing things to them. If they are really important to you, people who are not important to you. Maybe you are very, very important ones. Maybe your parents, maybe your siblings, maybe your family people. You can't easily go away from them, right? You can't go away from them just because there's a problem. But you can improve the condition by understanding that maybe the way you've been doing things is not properly touching them. So in the same way, devas have to be touched. That means you can't touch them. They don't have physical body. They have a very, very, subtle body. So they have to be felt. So the devas in the state of Vajji did not feel the offerings of the people in there. That's why Bhante Ananda is asking as such. Or maybe they were not doing their job properly. How do we know? It could happen in multiple ways. So you all are supposed to pay respect, worship the devas too. So these are the 5 offerings that we all are supposed to do for the these 5 specific people. Once again, let's go back again. Yeah. Panchabali. Panchabali. 5 offerings should be given, right? You can see the first one is Nyati Bali. And the second one is going to be Atiti Bali. The third one is going to be Pumapeta Bali, ancestors. And the fourth one is going to be, Raja Bali. And the fifth one is going to be Devata Bali. Nyati Bali means you are going to be concerned about the well-being of your Nyatis. Atiti Bali means whenever possible. Atiti Bali means you are going to take care of your guest. We come down to a definition of invited guest. And then Pupapeta Bali means your ancestors. That means your departed ones. Raja Bali means paying tax. Devata Bali means offerings to devas. So, ita massa tatiyang thanagata. When someone is giving, maybe distributing adequate wealth towards these 5 areas, which means for Nyatis, guest, then ancestors, government in the form of tax, and then devas, then what will happen? Tatiyang tanagatang, your money wealth is going to be Pattakamma, hoti Pattagatang. It means your money is going to be very praiseworthy, not blamable. Paributtam. It means Pattagatam means go into the right place. You can see over here. Go into the good use, go into the right place, and you are going to be blameless. Do other people blame some people who are passing when they are not really taking care of their relatives, guests, when they are evading tax, when they are not giving anything to their departed ones, when they are not doing anything for the devas? Have you ever heard people are really not happy about such beings? It can happen. That means that person has not properly executed wealth towards these 5 sections. All right. Any questions about this today? I think there may be questions, definitely. So we have some time to talk about.
Bhante, just now you mentioned the shortcut to become devas, speak the truth, not become angry. Then the third one is what, Bhante?
Third, speaking the truth at all times.
Yeah.
I should add something depending on the situation, right? Sometimes when you're going to talk about the naked truth, you might create some problems in.
Yeah.
So you have to understand the timing. But mostly this technical truth, at the same time non-technical, because there's a day coming up for people, April 1st, coming up next week. People think that they can lie, as many lies as they can make. But we are trying to think about that even this April 1st, not becoming the fool's day, becoming the wise person day, trying to take care of our speech, right, properly, and then making a lot of good speeches as we are used to, right? So speaking the truth at all times, depending on the situation, and then not become angry. Second, giving what you can. Be generous as much as possible.
Oh, okay. So Buddhists will change April Fool's Day to Wisdom Day.
Yeah, definitely. Not even that's a date from the English cultures, but yeah, I guess it's another one day for all of us. It's not a different day to us.
Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante, just now you did mention that some people did a lot of offerings, and then somehow or other it didn't turn out to be everything they do is not so smooth or whatever. Then it's because they didn't give enough good karma in their offerings to the devas. Is it right? Something like that. Just now you mentioned. Some people do a lot of I mean, they offer things a lot and all that. Somehow or other, their life is not as smooth or as what would
Yes, I did say
they
that.
face a lot. They face a lot of challenges in life still, and yet they are doing a lot of good karma in terms of the offerings.
No, outside. Technically, they are doing. Technically.
Yes.
But good karmas are abstract. Huh? They are abstract. They are not
Okay.
technical. How if somebody asks how do these karmas are making up, do we know? We have no idea about how they are making. Hindu people say Akasha records, sky records. Everything you are doing will be recorded in a sky record, but we don't say that. So the problem now, going on to that particular thing, is that giving something even from whatever the way should be appreciated. But there are people who still encounter a lot of problems in their life.
Something like that.
This could be due to many reasons. One reason could be they are not doing it in the proper way in terms of their mental purification. Mental purification means that not just go and give something away to somebody. You are giving by giving up. Giving by giving up. Giving up, lobha, dosa, moha. This is what is required in the Buddhist way. There are other religious ways. Just give away what you can, but they don't think about the mental purification. Right? So that is why some people are not really benefiting from even dana. They are doing it physically, they have spent a lot of money, but they still have a lot of problems than somebody who doesn't give anything at all. The reason is that they might not be doing in the proper way that the Buddha asked.
Perhaps they also give with attachment, then giving without expectation. Right, Bhante? Giving with expectation is not.
That means lobha.
Lobha, that's right.
Yeah, no purification then.
They have to give just without any expectation and just give the offerings without anything in return, right?
Yeah, I think the best way is purification, the word purification, which has no strings attached to the giving.
That's right.
Yeah.
And,
not even the greedy things, but also hatred and delusion.
Yes, Bhante. And Bhante, can it be some time when things they are so challenged? I mean, things doesn't do well in their life. Could be the past karma? They cannot blame the past karma or what?
Such as what kind of things are they?
Sometimes they do. We can see people doing good things, and somehow life is challenged. I mean, it's tough.
Could be most because we are experiencing things from sansaric life, not even in one life. Now we can only look at this life. This is what we know. But whatever the things we are experiencing come from 5 things. One is past life. One could be due to the weather changes. One could be due to the things that happen with the nature. For example, germination. Now, when the Spring is coming. Some people are having hay fever. They have runny nose, right? And so and so forth. When the fall is coming, they also have some allergies. Why is it? Is it because of bad karma? No, it is because you have gone to a place where these things are happening. When they go back to a certain other place, they might not have it. It's a third thing. Sometimes some bad experiences are happening because of mismanaging our thoughts. Now let's say someone is not managing, really taking care of one's thoughts, and then they are speaking bad words to other people. Then they are going through a hard time after that. And the last thing is what you call Dhammaniyama. They are called niyamas. Dhammaniyama means we are experiencing things in most of the things in our life. They are not our karma. They are not the weather problem. They are not the problems with regard to the mismanaging our thoughts. They are not also the problems with regard to other things. They are not the karma. They are the things that we all have to go through because we are in the samsara. Now, one example is death. Now, how many people are very scared of this word? How many people are very scared of this word, death? They don't even like to hear this word. But according to Buddhism, death is not something beyond the life. Death is part of the life, part of this life. So it is coming from Dhammaniyama, right? But the problem is if somebody is encountering the death at an early time, early age, that could be due to the Kammaniyama. So Dhammaniyama and Kammaniyama come together at that point. But let's say someone is having a very good quality life, but at the end of the life, this person is embracing the death. It is normal. So it could be mostly due to Kammaniyama, our past karmas. Yeah, as you say, it could be.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. But there are things we can do in Buddhism, right? We don't only understand what is happening. In Buddhism, we can do a lot of things to these situations. Now, one thing is, let's say someone is experiencing lots of problems in his or her life. Then we can follow what the Buddha said. We can minimize that situation. We can fight with the karma sometimes. We can.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't become a victim to karma. Do more good karmas and try to challenge it in a good way. But don't
Offset.
think that I do bad karma today, but tomorrow I challenge that bad karma. That's
No.
going to be a really unnecessary thing. But if we don't know we are experiencing bad karmas now, if you think a lot of bad things that may be because of our past bad karmas, which we don't know, then we can do more good karmas. Because we have a good mind now. Trained mind, we are training our thoughts. So we don't have to only talk about bad experiences. There are a lot of things we can do for the bad experience. We can do a lot of things to minimize the effect of bad experience. Whatever the channel they come from, Kamma or Dhamma, whatever.
Yeah.
Other questions? So we have one more Pattakamma coming up. This is the fourth one actually. Can do it next Friday. Any other questions?
Bhante, sorry to disturb you. Yesterday you were talking during the Pali class. I found the answer for the what is called the karma in November 2023.
Yeah, pardon me? I think it's not clear to me.
Yes. Yesterday we have the class, right? Yesterday evening.
Yes, Pali class,
The
yes.
Pali class. So you were talking about the karma.
I didn't talk about karma. I talk about
Yeah,
karmas. K long A-M-A, karma.
Karma. Yeah. So there
It's a
are
different Pali word.
is the what we call the 6 types
6 karmas, yeah.
karmas. So I managed to see it in November 2023. You have taught us earlier, 20.
Yes. Yes.
I
But people
recall,
forgot about it.
yeah, I recall you did.
You
So I
found it,
start
didn't it? I
digging and
talked about it.
yeah, and then I read, yes, I think I remember. So I start digging and I saw it in 2023 November.
Yes. Good that you could locate it.
Yeah, it's under
Yes.
the Sabha Sawa Sutta.
Yes.
So I managed to recall that.
Okay, good. All right. If there are no more questions for today, and we discuss the third Pattakamma, the fourth Pattakamma is coming up. So every time when we finish a sutta discussion, try to do your homework, try to think about the theoretical part of the class, at the same time the practical side, more important practical side. Now Dhamma is, you can read the textual things, but you never know how they connect to your life. Sometimes you don't understand how to connect them, right? Try to always connect Dhamma to your life. If they are not connecting, then ask us, we can help, right? Okay, so let's transfer the good karmas at this point. May all the good karmas which we've been making today be transferred to all the departed ones. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā huntu ñātayo. Idammi ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā huntu ñātayo. Idammi ñātīnaṁ hotu sukhitā huntu ñātayo. May all the devas, nagas, and Mahitikas be well and happy. May they share all these good karmas. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, and prosperity, safety. In particular, may they bless us for our Dhamma journey. May our Dhamma journeys become a very seamless, consistent Dhamma journeys. At the same time, may they also attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha ammehi sambataṃ punya sampadaṃ sabbe deva anumodantu sabbasaṃ patti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambataṃ punya sampadaṃ sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbasaṃ patti siddhya. Ittavata cha ammehi sambataṃ punya sampadaṃ sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha cha bhummatta deva naga mahittika punyantaṃ anumoditva chiraṃ rakkhantu loka sāsanam. Akasattha cha bhummatta deva naga mahittika punyantaṃ anumoditva chiraṃ rakkhantu desanam. Akasattha cha bhummatta deva naga mahittika punyantaṃ anumoditva chiraṃ rakkhantu maṃ paraṃ. Chiraṃ rakkhantu tvaṃ sadati. Also, we are going to make a wish. May we be in the company of Kalyana Mitras till we attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana patya. Finally, may all the good karmas which we will be making today on our Sutta discussion, day 92, be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silis niccang vaddha pachayino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevache atu nibbana sampatti Iminati saminjatu sadhu sadhu sadhu. I think by the end of this month, almost we are at the end of this month. It is, I think, going to be almost 2 years for our Sutta discussion. We started in 2022 March. It's going to be exactly 2 years. And in 8 more days, we will have our 100th Sutta discussion. This is the longest Sutta discussion I've been doing. Yes, interesting. Very grateful to the Vihara, Ti-Ratana
Yes.
Vihara.
Thank you,
Yes,
Bhante.
organizers.
Thank you,
Yes.
Thank
Bhante.
you very much, Bhante.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Bhante.
Okay, so good night, everyone. We'll be seeing
Thank
you
you
again
and good night.
Friday.
Good night, Bhante.
Seeing you
Yeah.
from Sri Lanka. Everybody.
Good
Okay.
night,
That's-
Bhante.
A safe trip to Sri Lanka.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you,
Good
Brother
night, everyone.
Sutta.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Adriana.
Okay.
Thank
Night.
you,
Good
Aaron.
night.
Good night.